G'day guys, Mac with the Outer Circle, and today's episode we're going to be looking through the Adepticon Previews for 2025. Now, I haven't seen any of these yet, apart from what I'm seeing on screen or a couple of quick snapshots I sort of scroll through social media. And the reason for this is simple. While this was all being previewed, I was at work. So I've come home, mowed the lawns, got over an acre of property, so it's quite a bit of lawn mowing, and now I'm sitting down to record this. So, yeah, let's see what we've got. Caveats before I start. Haven't looked through them, don't know what I'm going to come across. This means that I haven't read any of the articles, so it's first impressions of what I see. If there is additional data contained within the articles and I miss it, so what? I'm going to miss it only because it's a first impression. I'm not sitting here reading out a library worth of content. So, let's get into it. The first one we have is, because I haven't been on today, I've got to select your region is UK English. Close enough. What would this be? I'm guessing a re-release of miniatures for the Wood Elves and Beastmen for Warhammer Fantasy Battles, the old world, I'm guessing. Yep, Arcane Journals. Some more early 2000s sculpts being upcycled. Beautiful. There's a lot of models I actually really like in these ranges. A lot of these old Beastman characters, I don't know, they're thematic. They're fun. I'm down with that. I knew a girl once actually who I used to play fantasy against back in like '05, and she painted this beautiful Wood Elf force, which was really heavy on the war dancers. Lots and lots of war dancers in there. Very vivid memory because she painted them in this really vivid pink violet scheme that seems like it would have been really over the top, but it worked so well. Orion here, a lovely sculpt from the early to mid 1990s, and I'm sure definitely not being sold at 2020's prices. Same with things like the mage on the eagle. That's another one from the 1990s. You can kind of tell, right, when you're looking at these things. Branch Wraith and the War Dancer, all that sort of thing, they were all bought out for tail end of 6th, I'd say early 7th edition Warhammer Fantasy Battles. Rings a bell. That's the old school Tree Man, which is weird because the current Tree Man kit for Age of Sigmar was the Tree Man that was used in 8th edition Warhammer Fantasy Battles. So I don't know why they're bringing the old one back out. Is it just for nostalgia kicks? Anyway, I'd be very curious to see what the pricing is, because let's just say these models paid themselves off 2.5, 3 decades ago in many cases. But yeah, cool to see them coming back, I guess. What have we got here? Bring harmony to Cathay. Oh, okay. What are we going? Total Warhammer here? What have we got? So infantry regiments, cavalry, artillery. So before we get plastic modern chaos dwarves, we're getting Cathay. Interesting. I guess the groundwork was really laid for this in Warhammer Total War. I'm not against it. It just feels like it should have been like a big campaign that would have come out further down the line after all of the old Warhammer Fantasy Battles factions were being looked after instead of introducing new ones in the East. Not against it. It just seems like really weird timing. Is it just me that thinks that's weird timing, or no? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. But the sculpts look perfectly serviceable. Probably because a lot of it was designed already in Warhammer, Total Warhammer, the online video game, so it hasn't gone too far away from that. I will say, though, that the facial sculpt, like on this character here, Shugengen, whatever, doesn't look particularly Eastern. It looks kind of just like a Western chick riding on that celestial dragon or whatever. Great Spirit Longma. Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of names to get used to here. I don't really play a lot of Cathay in Total Warhammer. I play a lot of Total Warhammer, but no, I'm definitely more like Chaos Lizardmen, High Elves, Wood Elves. They're the sort of factions that appeal to me. But on the whole, yeah, the sculpts look nice. So, I have no problem with them. Oh, good. Chinese Sky Lanterns. Cool. I don't know, I think they're neat. They look neat to me. Cathayan Sentinels. So this is like the Terracotta Army type thing, but these are the size of Warhammer Fantasy Giants. These are going to be huge. Huge and cool. I think there are going to be some really well painted versions of these coming out. Being painted for like open entries at Golden Demon and stuff like that. So it'll be really interesting to see what different people do with the painting style. I can imagine people painting it as like bronze armor or even stone, but with like lava crackling up from underneath in like the joints. Like it's crackling and it's actually like volcanic lava underneath the skin. I could definitely see that, and that would look really good. What else have we got? Mao Ying, the Storm Dragon. I won't lie, I don't really like what they've done with the heads on these dragons, and they're like that in the video game. And I don't like all the floaty rock crap underneath the character. Like I think she would have stood out enough without all of that. It very much is the new age of sculpting to do that to characters. The tactical 40 floating rocks, and even the dragon is not immune to the tactical rocks. It's a little bit excessive. She's very different to everyone else with the large white hair and all of the cloaks, the very wizardly robes going on, and especially if she was on just a larger base, I think she would have stood out just fine on her own, but it's fine. It's okay. I've got no issues with it. And the sculpt, the facial sculpt, does look a bit more East Asian, which I appreciate. So, well, that's it. We're not getting, I guess, down the line, right? Can't release everything. We'll get more characters down the line, such as her brother, or the Jade Dragon. We'll see. All right. Yes, continue in English. Kill Team. All right. Tyranids. So Tyranids versus Mechanicum, looks like. What have we got here? Fellatio Lon? Because he's got a dick mouth. The Fellation, the Prime. So this is what? Tremocyte, Wrecker. They've all got names now. Venom Spitter, Warrior. So it's Raveners. Raveners versus Mechanicum. Techno-Archaeologist. Isn't that a reused model? Pretty sure that is. The Servitor Underseer. That's a shame that's a Servitor. I actually really like the style of that with the cyber brain thing going on in the back. I would expand on that as like a floating blimp-backed Magos. I like that a lot. It seems kind of wasted. What else have we got? Servitors, of course. Have anyone noticed Servitors have been really packing on the beef lately for people that just get fed like protein gruel slop? They are jacked. The Servitors look better than I do. I could never pull off Augmetics like that. Tyranid Terrain. I like Tyranid Terrain a lot. Is it going to be like actual big terrain? And if it is, how expensive is it going to be? Or is this actually really tiny terrain? What's the pictures above look like? No, it's tiny terrain. It's like the size of a 50 diameter base. Damn it. Each one of these should be bigger than if each one of these was the size of a Land Raider tank. You know? That's terrain. This is just teasing me. Oh, that's why we 3D print. As usual, not gonna say it looks hideous. The stuff, generally attractive models. It's good. It's a good thing. Okay. Yes, continue in English. Spearhead is Resurrection Shish, while match play uproots to Gairan. So, Warhammer Underworlds. What have we got? Underworlds? No, it's Age of Sigmar itself. Sorry, I just saw the board and just thought, oh, this must be like a, and the limited number of miniatures on on the Sand and Bone box, and I thought, oh, this is probably just a, Underworlds thing. No, this is an actual Sigmar release of some kind. Okay, so we're upcycling some of those vampire sculpts from last year. That's fine as terrain. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, cardboard. Very nice. What have we got here? Okay, a Fusel Platoon. Interesting. Goes with the Seraphon Sunblood Prowlers. And not Gorok. Bonecast Eternals. What have we got here? The Mortizan Elite. Has this army sort of just died off in hype? I feel like this one is one of the armies I saw the most hype for when it first came out, and it's completely vanished off the face of the earth. I never see pictures of people painting this. Curious to know. Anyone actually working on Ossiarch Bone Reapers, the Bonecast Eternals? Or is it just sort of like a one and done dealy? More tribes? Okay, so basically more sort of getting started type sets for Age of Sigmar. It's good. It's good. The game does need that sort of thing from time to time. Alright. What do we got here? Wage War in 3 new ways with the latest chapter approved mission deck. I'm not against doing it this way. I actually think there's a lot to be gained from like card-based objective type things. If you could just like randomly like shuffle some cards in a deck and like draw from this is your mission deployment, draw from this is where your objective deployment is, like that sort of thing. You could have like 50 distinctive missions and just dole them out. That wouldn't be bad for any game system, to be honest, because it'd be really easy to scale it to different sizes and points levels. No, I'm cool with this. Well done. All right, what else have we got here? House ascends with new units for codexes for Khorne, Tzeentch, and Nurgle. Alright. Well, Khorne is desperately in need of more stuff, because essentially it's cultists, berserkers, uber-possessed, and a different kind of uber-possessed. And they're getting more uber-possessed? Is this a character? Looks like a character. 8-bound champion, the Slaughterbound. A monster powerful warrior. Yeah, so it's a character version of one of the ugliest, most awful concepts for a model ever. Huh, cool. Yeah, nah, not for me. Like, seriously, that was it. Just throwing this out there. Blood Slaughterer in plastic. Khorne Dreadnought. Khorne Terminators. You know, all those units the World Eaters had. Like, Red Butchers Terminators for 40k. Like, upscale Cataphracti Terminators with, like, chains on their armor. And I'm just thinking that would be really cool. Probably popular. Probably sell well. No, guess not. Right, what a Nurgle. We've seen this guy before, haven't we? I'm definitely certain we saw this. This was at LVO. And it says it on the screen. So, yeah, I'm an idiot. It does say it was at LVO. Yeah, I liked this character. I still do. I think it's a good look. The only thing I sort of find a bit odd is, like, the weird... I get it, it's like a big bagpipe type thing, dispensing foggy, fumey stuff. Don't really like the backpack, though. I love the blade. I like the fact that the armor is so much closer to old school Nurgle. It's really, really dialed down from previous sort of sets of armor that we've seen. It looks so much better for it. Not having all the tentacles and crap. Yeah, love it. Great. Cool. And what the fuck is this? At first, I thought these were like those Paragon war suits for the Sisters of Battle, but like with the Egyptian scarabee head. Like, I was thinking gold warriors, like from the original Stargate movie with the Apophis warriors, you know, with like the Horus heads where like they hit the button and the helmet retracts down and it shows the warrior underneath. No, these look like some kind of automata. Okay, what have we got here? Unsettling robotic forms of these sectar robots. These towering mechanical constructs guard sides their exposure to discovery, the illusory spells and runes and they remain hidden in advantageous but opening up. These look awful. These are shit. Just, I think most people will agree. Castellax Achaea from the Horus Heresy. I'll open that in a new tab. Castellax Achaea are gorgeous. Where would they be? Trader, Thousand Suns. Here you go. Castellax Achaea. That is gorgeous, right? I've had a couple of them in my own Thousand Suns, painted them over the years. Beautiful. Down to the Asphyx weapons, you know. These are an attractive model. Multi-part, posable. You don't just have to put them in this kind of boring, just standing there pose. You can make it a little bit more interesting and dynamic. But this would probably be the worst pose you can put it in right now. And, you know, little Legion iconography going on, and the big Cyclopean eye on the front, the way that the sensor dome is placed on top of it, constructive use of decals and trim. Yeah, that's lovely. I think that, and the serrated almost, you know, Tutankhamun death mask-like serrations on the wings that cover this sort of psionic eye above the sensor dome. Yeah, these are gorgeous. These look like dog shit. Like, the only thing that's telling me these are potentially Thousand Suns and not something like Paragon Warsuits is the fact that they've painted, like, blue and yellow Egyptian-y stuff in there. But, like, heavy use of the trim, the bone trim, the use of it is so heavy. It's not letting those stripes breathe at all. They've essentially carried over none of the good-looking mechanical attributes from 40k. I don't think I necessarily like the paint scheme choice either. They're too tall, thin, and spindly, almost Wraithlord-like, which I'm fine with drawing analogues to the Eldar, but I think the faction who should do that most should be a Slaaneshi faction. These are like, we've got Wraithlords at home. No, these are awful. The weapons aren't even that good. No, they needed to be more like the Achaea, the Castellax Achaea. They need to be more solid in stance. I mean, fuck it. Why not just make the Castellax Achaea in plastic? And then you solve two problems at once. Horus Heresy and 40k's problems. That'll be way better. These are awful. No, I don't like that at all. And then generic tokens and crap for 40k. Whatever. Right, what else have we got? Demons ravage Armageddon, and only the Grey Knights can throw them back. Okay, we're doing Armageddon again, aren't we? Yeah. Khorne, with both of its units. Yep, there's Berserkers. Yep, there's 8-bound. That's it. That's all their new units. Cool. Some Black Templars. Okay, what have we got for Grey Knights? Really? This thing? They've resculpted this thing? I'll tell you this. When they first released this, I would have been like 20 years old. And I thought it was one of the stupidest, worst looking, maybe I was 22, stupidest, worst looking miniatures I'd ever seen. I thought the concept was dumb, and I asked the question of, well, if you can build these giant mechanical warsuits that are so amazing, why doesn't every member of the Grey Knights just drive one around? And nobody really had a good answer for this. The model to this day is in my most loathed category. I do not like it. I do not appreciate it. I think they are just dumb, awful looking units. And I don't have any kind of things to say about them. If you like them, fine. No issue for me. I'm happy for you to like them. But they do absolutely nothing for me, and they make no sense in the scheme of the universe without just twisting and bending it and essentially molding the universe to suit it, which is, I hate this model with a passion. Just redo the Terminators and that in the new Indominus scale, and I think 40k players will be happier than with the Baby Carrier. I mean, as a name, the Baby Carrier, that tells you what the community thinks of this. It's a dumb unit, never should have been. Fuck it off. Just generic Redemptor Dreadnought, upgraded with Grey Knight bits, would have been better in its place. Put these weapons on a Redemptor, like its little flail or its inquisitorial mace thing. Put that on a Redemptor. People would think that looks awesome. This is just awful. No. Alright, epic new Space Wolves to write sagas worthy of the Allfather. What? So Space Wolves are getting what? Blood Claws. Yeah. What else are they getting? Grey Hunters. As kits. Wolfguard. They're just a chapter. Why are they getting so much stuff? But the best you can do for Thousand Suns is fucking anorexic Castellax over here. The Space Wolves are getting... How many... They get new captains? Wolf priests? What the fuck? A whole new unit? Wolfguard head takers? There are actually as many releases for Space Wolves, which is just, let's face it, a generic Space Marine chapter. Okay, less generic than the average chapter is, more divergent from the Codex Astartes than most chapters, sure. But compared to something like the World Eaters, who are pretty bloody far diverged, they got as many kits as the World Eaters here. What the hell? Well, aren't they just spoiled for choice? I don't know, I just feel bad for Chaos players sometimes. Like, the Chaos Legions are all markedly different from other factions in the game. That's why they deserve to be treated a bit like special snowflakes, to have not just conversion kits, but full kits for their own units. Space Wolves, I mean, yeah, they're more divergent than most, but this is a lot of love for essentially just a sub-faction among many. I do like the work they've done. A lot of these are decent looking miniatures and all that. So no problems from that standpoint. None of these are ugly or hideous. I don't dislike any of them. The Saxon, Celtic, Norwegian inspired helmets here with the runes and such. A lot of these actually look better than some of the heresy sculpts like Deathsworn. They're better proportioned. They look nicer for it. So I'm fine with all that kind of thing. Just, yeah, really? Space Wolves getting this much love? Just, I don't know. Again, fill out like Khorne more or something. Alright, Kill Team. What we got here? Protect the Great Gun from... already saw this one. Okay. And we already saw that one? Oh, that's it. Okay. So how did they go overall? Let's rank them. Yep, fine with the bring back the Beastmen and the Wood Elves. Good to see. Would be good to see them priced better, because so many of these sculpts are mid-1990s. In fact, quite a few sculpts in both sides are mid-1990s. Other than that, a lot of it is early 2000s. With just the occasional thing from like 8th edition Warhammer Fantasy, like Cygor, Minotaurs, the Guard and the Wild Riders and that. Eternal Guard, Wild Riders, and Wildthorn Rangers, whatever. They're all 8th edition. But, like, a lot of 1990 stuff, like the Forest Dragon, Tree Man. Yeah, weird. Yep, Cathay, interesting that they've gone and built this whole new faction. It's more than just the timing I find odd. It's like, could have done Plastic Chaos Dwarves, could have, done something interesting with like Estalia and Telia. You could have done something else in like the New World, could have refreshed a few other ranges in the game. But they went this route. I mean, okay, sure. Just seemed a bit odd to me. You think that it would be like this be the after you've got all the other factions sorted and stocked on the shelves in a store, then you would release like a campaign. Now for games in the Far East, and it's Cathay. But I don't know. The models are good, so it's like, yep, fine. Fine. This kill team is still really weird to me with like the contents and the names. I won't get over the fellatio here. Fellatio on. Sorry, Fell Talon. Fellatio. He's got a dick mouth. Yep. Age of Sigmar Spearhead thing. Just, yep, it's good. More starter appropriate armies are fine. And I like this card system for 40k. In fact, I would like this sort of mission card thing for most game systems. I think it's a good thing. Chaos releases, just... The Nurgle one is from LVO, so ignore that. But the rest of it, total dog shit. World Eaters do not need another single character like this. Or if they did, there are other things I would have prioritized first. Terminators and Dreadnought are immediately two things that come to mind. If not a Dreadnought... because how cool are Chaos God-inspired Dreadnoughts? You think for sure it would be a no-brainer to bring back the Sonic Dreadnought for the Noise Marines, right? Nope, they didn't get it. It would make sense to do Blood Slaughter out or bring back not Sonic Dreadnought, like a Khorne Blood-Raged Dreadnought or Hellbrute, whatever you want to call it, for World Eaters. So not doing any of that, just kind of, I don't know, just missed opportunity. The list is not lacking in infantry and characters necessarily. It's lacking in heavy hitters. Unlike Space Wolves, it doesn't have the luxury of drawing upon units like Space Wolves can from the regular codex to really pimp that army out with all of the latest war gear. It doesn't quite work like that for, Khorne Berserkers or Thousand Suns. So it makes their armies in a really weird place in the game system. So I would call the Chaos stuff here the biggest fail of the night. Or day. Night for me, day for many of you. Then I forgot this. This is a faithful re-rendering of an existing unit for the faction. So it's not a big fail, it's just a unit I don't like. And so I need to judge it accordingly as this is fine. This is a perfectly acceptable miniature for Games Workshop based on what it is. The Space Wolves is an epic win for Space Wolves players and a collective sigh from those of us who give a crap about other factions in the game who have gotten less love. And then, I just look at this and I just compare it to... Well, these are going to be no one's model of the year. These are just awful. I have no idea what the design direction was for these. I think most people are going to agree, though, that these miss the mark. But if you really, really like them, I would be curious to see your thought process in the comments below. Anyway, that's that for me. I'm back with the Outer Circle. This is the Adepticon Previews. I hope you got something out of it. I guess I'll catch you on the next one.